Hi there, welcome to In the Rough, episode 3. I am interviewing my mother today on an area in life that she has overcome. And then we're also going to talk about an area that she is working through right now and just kind of the challenges in that area and then a strategy for it. What are two words that you would use to describe yourself?
Teacher. That's what I am.
Teacher?
And I'm creative. I like to paint and design things and strategize to create new things and new
Yes.
ways to do it.
And new ways of doing things?
Yes, in education.
And then what is your occupation?
Well, I'm a teacher. I started out in early childhood and taught in Montessori schools. And then I taught in public schools because I have an early childhood master's degree. I taught high school students how to be a teacher, and we had a lab school of preschoolers in our lab school that their parents paid tuition. And then I directed the high school students what we do in the preschool with those students, and they were like teachers. I've also taught technology in that how to use technology in the classroom. And then I have opened preschools. I've opened several preschools. And currently, what I'm doing, which is really fun, is both Dad and I teach at a college in northern Wisconsin. It's a university. And I teach in the education department, and my husband teaches in the English department. And the really cool thing about it is we teach online. So we can be in Padre Island in Texas teaching, we can be in northern Wisconsin teaching, or we can be here at home in the Texas area. So it's really a great way to live. You just travel when you want, and you can do your lessons and teach
Yeah,
because
that sounds like the perfect setup.
it's really something that we really like, and it's something we worked toward over years because we both had a job that was in a building and that kind of thing. So this is really great.
And then outside of work, what would you say is the thing that's most important to you?
My family.
Yeah.
Yep. My three daughters are wonderful girls. They're beautiful, wonderful girls, very smart, very talented girls. And they each have a family. And so we have 8 grandchildren. And so they're kind of split up. The youngest three are 7, 2 are 7, and 1 is 5. And then we go to the teenagers. So it's kind of like 2 levels of kids. Then we go to the teenagers, and the oldest 18, and then 16, and then 15 and 14. And what the cool thing is about my grandchildren is because I'm a teacher, I've had an opportunity to work with them in preschool settings and in like summer camp settings. Still, they were probably up to about 8 or 9. But I started working with them on painting at age 2. So I tried to do a lot of arts and crafts with the kids. I tried to teach letters and numbers as they were in that age group in preschool. So that's a joy of my life, really, is my grandchildren and still being able to teach them.
That's cool. Yeah, that's one of the characteristics then that you would use to describe yourself as teaching. So do you feel like you're in the teaching mode most of the day when you interact with people, or how can you tell that you're in the teaching mode versus not in it?
Well, I have to be careful because I was an elementary principal for 12 years. So I'm very, very easily can help people. I mean, by that I'm saying I'll hold doors for people. I will make sure welcome them in. I will, if I see that they're having a little bit of problem, I'll try to help them. So I have to be careful when I'm out in general society because not everyone wants someone to just, can I help you? I
Yeah.
work in that store, you know. But that's kind of what I got to be careful of. But as far as the teaching situation, yes, I'm always looking for teachable moments, and situations that I can apply my teaching. Like I learned something when we travel. I love to travel with Dad, and I like to take some of those travel things I learned, if it's a geography, if it's a city we're in, and maybe use that as an example in one of my classes that I teach at the college.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. So now we'll talk about an area of your life that you have already overcome and just kind of paint the picture for us. How old were you? What was going on in your life at that time? And then explain the situation that you overcame and how you overcame it.
Okay. Well, I come from a small family in that I was the only child with my mom and dad for about 9 years. And I had a good life. I really did. And some of the fun things that we did is my dad, his business, he could take his business with him. He was an artist and a sign man in that he could paint signs. That was, when signs were hand painted. And so we could work in Wisconsin in the summer. That's where the best business years were, business times for him in that town. And then we could travel to Florida, we could travel out to Nevada. And so I had that opportunity through about age 7 or 8. And we lived in Florida several years. We first went there when I was 2. It's where I fell in love with the ocean and palm trees. Mm-hmm. And if you ask my grandchildren, they'll say, Trixie, that's what they call me, loves palm trees. And I really do.
It's true. Do you still have palm trees?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
When we moved, we didn't have a new palm tree in our new house. But now in our new house, we're going to put a palm tree in this. So
okay.
Yeah, we had to replenish that. But yeah, so those are kind of some things I do. So then the story goes, when I turned 9, when I was about 9, was still in Brownies or Girl Scouts, and they told us to draw a picture, like the beginning of the year, of your family, right? So I drew the picture, colors with crayons, and I had a mom, a dad, and in the middle I had 2 girls, but their names were my mom, my dad, Sue, and Marie. And it was my makeup character. I just made it up. I took it home, and mom and dad looked at it and go, okay. But I didn't know it meant that much to them. But within a couple of months, mom and dad brought me together, and they said, well, you're going to have a little baby sister or brother. So I thought, wow, I actually get one. One and one. So it was really cool. So here,
cool.
9, 10. I mean, I've lived a good life, had fun, but I was starting to get a little chunky,
Yeah.
So at 7th grade, I made a decision. I made a decision that I wanted to get to a nice, good-looking weight, and because when I got to high school, for sure I wanted to date. And I thought, if these kids, guys in my classes, remember me chunky, man, they won't want to date me when we're in high school. So that's what I did. I went on a diet. And it really, I needed to lose, I'd say probably about 33 pounds. And so what I did, and I'm happy my mom and my dad really supported what I was doing, because I came up with a diet, and it was a lot of fruits and vegetables, protein, and that kind of thing. And I liked for my snack Rice Krispies, and I would just take Rice Krispies without milk and just have it, just something to chew on, I guess, instead of chips or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the way my parents really helped me were, one way my mom cooked just like I asked. She made it, she'd make me green beans and burgers. I just loved how she did that. I ate that a lot. I'd have yogurt with Rice Krispies in them, and also fruits and vegetables. Okay, well, so here's 7th grade, but I've got to exercise too. So my parents would take my little brother, because by this time he was, about 3, maybe, and they would take him and, go do something outside, or go look at some land we had in the country, or take a drive, or take him somewhere for an hour. So the stereo system was in our living room. So I like to play my music really loud and really good music to motivate me, and then I exercise for an hour. And
that's good.
Yeah, I did that for, gosh, I probably started in 2nd semester of 7th grade, and then I still was finishing up on it in the summer of 7th grade. By the time I hit 8th grade, I had the weight off, and I was fluctuating between 117 and 123, and that was really cool for me, really cool. And So when I went 8th grade, I started to feel like, maybe I look okay around here. But the guys are still kind of, you know, yeah, kind of dorky still. But then freshman year, before freshman year started, my dad's aunt lived in Minneapolis, which was a city not too far from us. And she took me to Minneapolis and says, I'm going to help you get a really cute wardrobe or clothes for school this year. And she did. She helped me pick out really fun stuff. Stuff that was trendy too, and also that was useful for what we get in the winters in northern Wisconsin. So yeah, so there started my accomplishment. Very first one is to lose that weight and to make a commitment and do it. When I went to college actually as an art student, but when I got there, I started learning about child development and nutrition and different areas that I was thinking, hey, am I really want to be an art teacher, or is there something else I want to be? And I decided to go into family consumer education for my bachelor's degree because it had all the things that I like. One, learning about nutrition, because I figured if I read about nutrition, always studied nutrition, and even taught it, I would never gain weight again like I did. I didn't want to gain that weight ever again. And then they also had early childhood nutrition and family. All those are important to me. And talking also about consumerism, how to teach high school students how to, understand a checkbook, how to understand, well, not today, we do checkbooks so much anymore, but how to understand their finances and setting a budget and how to spend them. So anyway, all of that fit in what I believed in, so I went into that. And then while I was in college, I went to a couple of the local high schools, and I asked if I could start kind of like a class after school about managing your weight. And I did. And so I worked with high school students for a semester in topics about managing their weight, and then they could talk about their concerns, and we'd work it out kind of together. So that was my first kind of really teaching experience with high school students. And then I decided I loved them, so I, continued that trend and taught more high school as I graduated.
So then, do you think some of the main things that helped you get through that challenge was, well, let me see. What would you say was your main motivation for losing the weight
To
when
date,
you were to date people?
I was in high school, and I wanted to look nice.
And then, so the strategies you used was diet, and then you exercised every day for an hour?
Yes, it was controlling what I ate and then exercising every day. And I'd be doing other things, throughout the day, working on my arms, different things just so I could get my body really toned where I felt comfortable with it.
You had said that your parents and Uncle Mike were not in the house when you would work out. Did you find that was more motivating if you could just turn on your own music and just have it be something that you're doing privately? Did you feel more motivated to do it privately?
Yes, I did. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, there wasn't a gym in our community, so I couldn't join a gym. But I really don't mind exercising alone. I like it, especially if I have music that's really good. And I set my own music. I know what's going to motivate me in the beginning. I know what's going to motivate me toward the end for the different types of exercise.
So let's say you meet someone that's in 7th grade now and they have the same goal that you had in 7th grade. What would you tell them to motivate them and to encourage them?
Well, if they came to me and wanted information, it would help them. But I can't just point them out and say, you would look better if you lost some weight.
Oh, no, yeah.
But what I do actually is, I'll answer your question. If they were to come to me, or if I got to know them and they were having a struggle and they kind of needed someone to talk to, I would kind of work that out with them and see if I could visit with them a little bit. And then I might tell my story,
Yeah.
You have, where do you see yourself? You're in 7th grade. Where do you see yourself socially 8th grade, freshman year? And pretty much that's girls like my belief of being a girl is we look forward to dating, you know. So I guess I'd go that route.
So that was your main motivation then. What is your main motivation now for health and working out and all of that?
Okay. Well, I'm back to having to lose 33 pounds to 40.
So it's 33 again,
I
same number?
started out with 33.
Oh, wow.
Let's
That's
get that
cool.
off. So I found out, I would say about 12 years ago, I'm very busy with family. I'm very busy with my work. I'm an elementary principal. I'm go, go, go. I was probably eating things just to quickly eat things, fast food or, um, I kind of didn't put myself first. I put my schoolwork to make sure I could be a good principal first, taking care of family members that needed me. And then I would think about myself. I've always taken care of my hair, I always taken care of my makeup and, my skin, but the weight thing got out of control. And so I saw it going up. I saw the thing going up on the scale, and I'm going, how am I going to stop it? You know? But I was so busy that I just, and sometimes I come home from work and I was too tired to go exercise.
Yeah.
I got many people get into that cycle, and how you get out of that cycle is to make a commitment, set some goals, and really push it and really stick to it. So it's a big commitment, and it's a change. It's a change in your lifestyle. So I'm ready for that now.
Oh,
I've tried over the last 12 years all kinds of things. I did some kind of plan that had you gave yourself injections for a month, and once a week. And I did lose maybe 20 pounds, but then got back into my old habits and gained it right back. So then I tried other things. The thing that has worked the best for me is intermittent fasting. When I do that, that's where I can lose weight. So that really right now is what I'm doing. And I must tell you some other things I'm doing as well. But intermittent fasting, you can do like a 16 to 8 fasting cycle. So you rest 16 hours, you don't eat anything, but you can drink water, you can drink tea. For those that drink coffee, you could have coffee, but it's liquids for those 18 hours. And then for 8 hours, you can eat. So my window for eating is from about 11:30 until about 7 at night. So I'm
that's
under
pretty
that
good.
8 hours. And then, but when you are limited that 8 hours, you've got to make good choices, you know? So I'm not trying to do fast food, although once in a while I go to Arby's and get the classic Arby's beef, as I like it, you know? But that's a treat because I do believe you got to give yourself some treats just to kind of keep it varied, you know?
Like the Rice Krispie treats. Rice Krispies cereal.
Yeah, no, and I don't like Rice Krispie cereal anymore. but, um, but yeah, I could add that. Now I add granola to my yogurt
Oh,
instead.
that sounds
So
good.
yeah, just like many people do this. I put, low-fat yogurt in a bowl, put in fruits, and then put my granola on top, and I put in flaxseed and oats and grains. I make sure that I'm really doing the fiber because that's important. So the stage I'm in right now, and I really have been in this stage while I've been trying to work on losing weight, is to have more salads and more fruits and vegetables, protein shakes. I'm not really, yes, I don't like a lot of meat. Now I'm making sure at least I have a protein shake every other day. Well, but that's going to be for sure in my plan.
You have been motivating me with your plan because what we started doing, I think it was a year ago, we started texting each other at the end of the day what our calorie count was for the day.
Yes.
And that has helped me a lot because it's accountability. I'm not lying to myself about what I'm eating. And
Mhm.
then I know I have to write it down. And I know at the end of the day that I'm going to text you what that is.
Mhm.
So that I've noticed for me right now in life has been the biggest help to try to, with diet, make sure I'm not overeating is the accountability with that. And then, too, we'll also let each other know if we took a walk or we got some exercise in. And for me personally, that's been the biggest motivator.
Yeah, yeah, and it has been for me too, Angie. I've been trying. I've been trying to stay between 1250 to 1450 calories a day. Sometimes I'll get up to 1900, but I sometimes, and sometimes if you're close to that, we'll both say to each other, but you didn't hit 2000
I
calories.
know.
And there's always tomorrow, and we say to each
That's true.
other, better tomorrow, exercise that day. Tomorrow I can do this, you know. And sometimes I'll even say to myself, okay, I can do 20 minutes before I go to bed, if I hadn't done it yet. So I see that. Um, so those are things that help me, And accountability partner circle, thank you for doing it with me. That is something I suggest that anyone losing weight should have accountability partner.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
hmm Well,
Uh, here, come.
I,
So I thought you mentioned something interesting. You said that when you were in seventh grade, it was 33 pounds that you needed or wanted to lose, and now it's 33 pounds that you're wanting to lose. Could that be a coincidence, or is that a motivating factor to you that, hey, I did it before, and this is the exact number that I'm looking to do again?
I think it's a motivator for me. It's probably more like 40, 45, but I guess I'm going with 33 because I think I'd feel success if I could get that 33. And then
That's
you
true.
can always get 5, 10 pounds that you still want. You can always do that. But the 33, because I did it before, you know, and I know how long it took me, it didn't take me more than 7 months to get that off. But you have to find as many ways as you can to motivate yourself to continue and do these things.
I agree.
Mhm.
And then just to remind me, what did you say was your main motivating factor now for the 33 pounds?
Now it's to feel better. I feel good, but it's health. I think you can't carry around this weight. It's not good for us. Just not
Yeah.
good for our joints. It's not good for our organs for us to carry this weight around. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
No, there's a lot of people going through the same thing. Like I am as well, because I'm 42 and I have a harder time now losing weight than I did if I was in high school. So it's encouraging to hear the simple things that you need to do, that other people remind you. You need to, know how many calories a day you're having without being obsessive about it. You need
Mhm.
to eat good foods for your body, and you need to exercise. So,
I used to have a sign that I put on my refrigerator, and it was a magnetic sign, and it said, "You are what you eat."
oh, that's a good one.
So when you're eating that ice cream, what's
That's true.
around your heart, if you're eating chips and stuff, what it'll do to your face. It's stuff like that. But so you are what you eat great, make good choices.
That's a good one. Thank you. So now that you're going to attempt to lose the 33 pounds again, what is your strategy?
Well, I've actually come up with a framework, kind of a model, and that model has 5 pieces to it, and they're actually developmental areas that we as people develop from infancy throughout our whole life. We're developing these 5 areas. And the first one is cognitive. And this is where, you're thinking. What are you thinking about? How do you process information? How do you make decisions? Well, I'm going to do research. I want to research nutrition and research it according to different parts of my body. What do I need for my circulatory system, for my heart? Keep my strong bones. What do I do to keep my hair, keep my face, looking fresh? So I'm going to go into a nutrition book. I've actually asked one of my daughters, your sister, your niece, or your little 5-year-old niece, said that she would like to buy me a birthday present for my birthday in January. And so they wanted to find out what I'd like. And I said, well, if your mom could help you find a really good nutrition book, but not expensive, but just an overview of nutrition. So that's part of it. And then have researched a little bit about Ozempic and Wegovy, and my doctor actually had recommended those to me about a year ago. As we were speaking, within a month of him telling me about them, Ozempic had gone up quite considerably, $750 more. I'm not sure how much insurance even covers on weight loss products like that. Wegovy, I was considering that one, and then that one went up also. So I can't afford that kind of money. So Wegovy and Ozempic are injections that are done weekly. And you can lose more weight than if you were just doing a regular diet of 1 to 2 pounds a week. So I probably won't go that route. I still am interested in Wegovy. And there are some pharmacies that make compounds that are starting to create some products like Wegovy and Ozempic, that are cheaper. And they're trying to work out some of the, I hope they are anyway, working out some of the negative side effects of Ozempic.
Yeah,
And,
that would be good.
yeah. Because people have been taking them and then they get off them and they gain the weight back. So it looks like it's a lifelong product you need to stay on, keep the weight off. The next area is physical. So cognitive and now physical. Physical. This is my number one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting is finding a way that you have about a 16 to 8 hour window where 16 hours you rest, you do not eat any food, but you can have water, tea, coffee. And then you take 8 hours and you eat very sensibly. And then you don't eat anything after that. You don't eat anything before that 8 hours. But you want to be sure to stay away from the, meat. Stay away from like Arby's classic beef and cheddar,
I know, I like that one too.
Yeah. Or going to Cane's and having their great chicken. It's really making sensible choices. But every once in a while, I think it's okay to have your treat. Secondly, you and I are accountability partners.
Right.
So accountability partners, I share with you and you share with me our daily calories and exercises. I'm trying to have not more than 1250 to 1450 in calories per day, but making good choices so I'm getting the most from what I'm eating. Sometimes it's okay to go up to almost 2,000, but I think our ceiling is 2,000. We're not going up. And so I've been really careful not to do that. But you go out to dinner with your family, you might go up to 1,900, right? Plus the stuff you had for breakfast or whatever. So that's my routine, my big things for physical, and then my exercise routine. I need a daily routine. Daily. And I want to work my legs, my arms, my abdomen. And, that's where a lot of your fat is around your heart, called visceral fat. And I want to get rid of that. So we've got cognitive, physical, now emotional is the third one. And that's making a decision, to commit fully to this process. If we're talking about 33 pounds, what do I think is a timetable for losing 33 pounds? Well, I really do need to calculate 1 to 2 pounds a week, figure that out. So emotional then. I want, the other thing that's emotional for me is monitoring my emotions. I'm pretty much a happy person. I wake up, it doesn't take me long, I feel happy. I try not to get depressed, and if I do get sad, I have to deal with it. Maybe I'll call you. I'll say, Angie. And you've been a good sounding board, and I've had something, but I don't want to give that all to you. I'll share it with your sisters too,
Well,
But
you've got three of us.
I got 3 of you.
And I don't mind. I love
Yeah.
talking and helping.
But you guys probably are my best friends. But, I have to have friends my own age too. And I realize that. And when I change jobs, which I've done, maybe in the last 20 years, I've probably changed 3 times. You make new friends and that kind of thing. But I do need to have a group of women that I enjoy talking with and go to lunch with. that kind of thing. So that's part of my emotional thing, but it's also my social. Okay, the next one is spiritual, and that's number 4. So we've got cognitive, physical, emotional, now spiritual. And spiritual, is spiritual can be anywhere in any religion, but it's what you think of your creator. The Native American religion is about their creator, and they have built their worship ceremonies around the principles of Native Americans. So then you've got the Western faith. The Western faith is more probably the evangelical, Protestant, Pentecostal, those kind of different non-denominational churches also. Well, I've pretty much been non-denominational the last 20 years, but I do feel that I get a lot out of a sermon. I get a lot out of worship, but I still need more. So I like to do Bible studies. So you and I went through that 2-year program that you talked about in your introduction, which was a 2-year ministry program. Excellent for us, just excellent, and probably the closest I've ever felt to God, that I was really reading about him, really learning more about him. Well, I wanted to do it again, and I came to you in August, I think it was, and I said, do you have any good online Bible study? And he said, he told me about Bible Study Fellowship that's online, and so we both applied for a spot, and we are now in a Revelation class, study of the book of Revelation, 30 weeks. It's not something that is a new Christian, I probably would tackle that. I think you've had to do some Bible reading, some understanding of what God is all about, because Revelation is pretty heavy. We learn things in there of God's plan, final plan. The judgment, we learn about that, the judgment seat, that's scary. But you have to have faith in him, and he shows how he loves us, has faith in us, and he wants us to succeed. So how do we do that? Well, that's what we're learning in Revelation, and how our responses are to all these things. I also want to do a Bible study on weight control, and I haven't really found one yet, but I know they're out there. Some are free, and they just go through so many weeks, and you deal with Bible study that helps you with motivating you in your weight loss journey. The other thing is under spiritual is, what is my purpose? And I've told you for a long time, and you've been with me on this one, my purpose is to teach others and help them find their purpose. That's my main purpose. And it still is true 24 years later when I started talking about this with you and the church where I was working. And so we came up with you and I together wrote a study guide, and our name of our class was Journey to Purpose, and this is just partially the cover, but inside we get into learning about you, and we help you find your purpose. So I've taught it. I haven't taught it maybe now in about 3 or 4 years. So I want to revamp it again and see how I can teach more about that, because it's very, very important. I was an elder in a large church, and we would get up in front of the congregation at the end of the service, and people would come up and ask leaders. We were also elders, ask people, the pastors and elders, to pray for them. So many of the people that came up to me, and I thought it was really something, asked me, how do I find my purpose? So even Christians are wondering, how do I find my purpose? So that's on people's hearts and minds. They want to have lived a life that meant something.
I agree.
Yeah. So then, Revelation, what we're studying now, that's a great, great study. I'm enjoying it very much. And we're learning about God's plan for his people. And then the last area is social. And this is interacting with other people. And in that, you can get hurt in relationships. But you also can have much joy in relationship. Much joy. For the most part, I've discovered the joy in my relationships with people. But who do I hang with? Who's most important to me for my relationships? Well, God is number one. 2 is my husband. 3,
What? No, just kidding.
3 is my 3 beautiful daughters. 3 beautiful daughters. They are each individuals. They each have such strength and wisdom. Very intelligent 3 girls. Very.
Oh, you're nice.
Well, you all have something. Each of you have like a special niche. Like, this is my area. This is, I just think it's so special. And then after, you guys, it's my grandchildren. And we are very fortunate to have eight healthy, wonderful grandchildren. They too are beautiful. And 2 boys and 6 girls. And just real quickly, they have, because I'm a teacher and because I enjoy children so much, I have been working with all of them since they were age 2. And how I've done that is I've had preschools in my home. I would invite them over for once a week, and we would have arts and crafts and learn numbers and letters when they were in preschool and Bible studies and that kind of thing. And then, when they got a little bit older, I have really I see a gap in grandchildren. One group is teenagers, and the other group is elementary age kids. And so with the elementary age kids, now I'm working with, started them when they were 2. So I have 2 7s and a 5. So I was working with them 4 years and doing just the things that I told you. And we just had our 4th annual Christmas party for 2 of them, and the 3rd annual for the 3rd one yesterday. And we were talking like, we're not really preschool anymore. And I said,
Yeah, I know. Abby was telling me about that
yeah,
you're renaming it because now they're all older than preschool.
yes. So we just tossed some names around, like K2, K plus 2 equals fun. That's their grades. And we kind of ended up with, I let them talk it out, ended up with arts and crafts fun class.
I like that.
Yeah. So and this age doesn't matter. They can be a teenager, right? I can invite the 3 teenage girls to paint with me, and I have done that.
And that helps them too with their purpose. I just was reminded as you were saying that I interviewed Abby in episode 2, and she actually mentioned one way to overcome. Right now, she's not feeling well, so one way she can overcome her cold is by doing arts and crafts. So I think that that age, they're already learning strategies on how to overcome through those activities
Yes,
and through what you naturally want to do as a kid. So.
yes. And as a child development teacher, I can tell you, 5-year-olds through 5th grade are project oriented. They want to do projects, and that's how they learn best.
That's a good point. Yeah, Abby is that way a lot. So I need to, I think, zero in on that and help her with it.
They like to organize, they like to plan it, and yeah, good stuff. So and then I guess the other social part is, like I said, I want to have friends that are my age. I have a few. I love going to lunch with them because we just sit and talk about, and so many different things. And so I like that. The last thing I guess I might say is, well, the accountability, that's social also, that you and I have that way, with reporting daily our calories and our exercise of yes or no. And then kindness, that's huge for me. If there's one thing I can do wherever I am, is I can be kind. I can be kind in the grocery store. I can be kind to my students. I can be kind to my family. Wherever I am, I can be kind. And I really, really try to demonstrate kindness. And a smile, a encouraging word, depending on what's happening and how comfortable the other person feels, even having to talk to them or look at them, But then sometimes you cannot connect with them, but you see there's a difficulty there. So I'll just do a quick little prayer over them silently. And just kind of hold my hand like this. It's not big like that, but, and say a little prayer for them. So those are my words, and kind of what I'm doing now, and incorporating some things I've done, a long time, like the kindness. I've really been working on that. And new things. And so for me, I need a chart, and I need to write, so to keep track of myself. So that's why I'm going with that framework of those 5 developmental areas. I'm going to build my weight loss program around those.
And then with the kindness, how do we be kind to ourselves as we're going through the process of losing the weight or, working through our goals? Because I think that's huge too. It can be easier, I think, to encourage somebody else than it can be to be kind to ourselves. Do you have any strategies about self kindness, if that's even a word? Or
Yeah,
how do we do that?
that's really good. We should do that. And that's something that you and I kind of remind each other often. You say, good to yourself now.
Yeah, be good to you.
Oh, yeah, now. And for me, it's my plants. I love house plants. And I don't have a pet. So
Yeah, for me, I think it's dogs.
yeah. So I have house pets, which are house plants. And so I love manipulating, doing stuff with them. I like painting. I've gotten back into painting again a little bit. And so it's doing things to keep my mind from saying, woe is me, I'm
Yeah.
doing this. Or woe is me, it's not coming off as fast as I wanted it to. So you just go, it's going to happen. Just calmly go through it. And that's what I'm going to try to do. And my chart shows me proof when I write, when I do that.
So I think you're more of an extrovert than me. I think I tend to be more of an introvert. So when I think of being kind to myself, I think of getting rest and getting rejuvenated. So your kindness to yourself, I think you're more extroverted. You said it's doing the things that you enjoy. So that's interesting that maybe we have to figure out like how we're kind to ourselves is almost like our love language is a little bit, or
Mm.
I don't know if that even made sense.
Well, I know when I have the three little ones, the two 7 year olds and the 5 year old together, they give me such joy that can lift me up for several days. I can be
Yeah.
about the joy, and I tell your dad about the joy they give me, and it's so uplifting. And life has ups and downs, and that's just life. It's not all straight joy. There's
No, definitely
you
not.
know, and so, but if we can remember those joyful things and kind of remember even when we're going through the tough stuff, we'll see the joyful things again. They come back because life isn't up and down um, probability. So those are the things I like and help me a lot. So, and I
Well,
really enjoy talking like with you and your sisters. So all is good.
you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you, honey. You are, you are, you are doing a great job with your podcast. I really am glad you asked me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was fun.
And we might be have you back on to outline purpose for us and strategies.
I love that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.